Alright, this video we're going to talk about the Pale Rider space type. This is probably my favorite 400 cost space only suit. Um, for just the fact that it's Pale Rider, and it's kind of you know, the notorious thing with Pale Riders is that they suck because their health is non-existent to compensate for their even squishier defenses and the Hades as a whole. So, um, going forward, as you can see, I really haven't invested even much into health in this suit because I'm very overconfident in space with the fact that people can't aim or melee. So I really only just focused on putting on melee defense for the Rictom GH because I call it the No Fun Police. And other aggressively melee-oriented people in space, which happens a lot. I'm looking at you, the Gem Intercept Fellow Booster. Why? But yeah, let's go into my build and we'll talk about Hades and why it sucks and why the Pale Rider space type should be a very fun suit to play. So it has two primary weapons they could pick from. It has, well, three. I don't count this. This doesn't exist in my book, alright? But it's got the Hyper Beam Rifle, and it's also got the Hyper Bazooka. The Hyper Beam Rifle, I think, is shared onto the Unit 5, and I think the Unit 4 uses it too. But it's a really good beam rifle. It has 1800 power, therefore it's reliable. It can be charged. It has decent range. Its heat value is also really good. And then it has, you know, your typical Pale Rider Enhanced Beam Saber is level 2. Oh, times 2. So, yay. Oh, hold on. My bad. It's got head Vulcans, it's got a beam spot gun on its arm, it has a giant Gatling cannon, and it's got a shield. Now my parts look really weird. Maybe questioning, so, Pyro, why do you have a reloading part? Or ballistic reloading part at that, for the suit, when it looks like it uses mainly beam weapons? Well, it's because it's seeing reloads as slow as time itself. I like using this thing. So this build mainly focuses around shooting damage, as you know this Pale Rider is really good at, but it's also mainly focused around making this thing usable and really fun and effective, because it's got a decently high stun rate for a Gatling gun, that is. I put enhanced firing program level 4. I have quick loader level 2. I have any melee armors level 1 and 2. I throw on it strengthened frame level 1, shield reinforcement level 2, you'll see why when we get in the match, and enhanced melee programs level 1 and 3. Its skills are evasion systems level 1, melee combo controller level 1, high spec AMBAC level 1, performance radar level 1, Hades, which as you know, read in the description box here, temporarily boosts attack and mobility, lasts longer than exam. It lasts for a minute 30 seconds, that is true. But the increase in attack comes with a defense debuff. Woo! It's not a fun time. You basically you see all those resistance modifiers up there? It feels like you just took them and you just subtracted 10 off all of them. They buffed it recently, so I think it's like more along the lines that it takes off like 5 modifier, but it's still 10 ballistic beam and ballistic resistance in space? That doesn't feel very fun. That feels like I'm paper. I'm already paper. But I feel like I'm wet paper. It's just like exam when you launch it, it repairs everything. When it's over, it cripples everything. It has force injector level 1. While in Hades, you do get level 2 evasion combo, evasion maneuver, so you can roll twice. You know, that good old roll twice, roll once, bait out, the melee tackle, get everything back. You know, look like a god, but you're only really 2 dodge rolls. So, we could think we're good. Let's head into this training range and show you some stuff. So the thing about space combat as a whole is that a reliable stun really isn't necessary because melee hitboxes from the bottom. Basically, if you come up from the bottom or the top of somebody, you could easily melee them without a reliable stun, which is interesting. That's why I kind of put melee parts on this suit, because, you know, the rare doesn't tell you how high an enemy is compared to you. It'd be nice like, if they're higher or lower than you, they were a little bit darker on the map, but the thing is, it'd be really hard to see that at that point. So, essentially, why you ask for the why do you use the shield part? You see how I pull out the Gatling gun, right? You can't see because we're facing from the back, but you see how the Pale Rider brought its shield up that covers its midsection? You can move like this, all right? But imagine if I was covered up like this. I'm shooting my Gatling gun. The bottom half is covered by literally a static object on the map, which you can't shoot through. The shield is covering my midsection. The only really exposed part is my right shoulder and my head, which is nice. That shield part basically keeps that shield alive longer and allows me to continuously put down fire. And this is another thing. This is why I put the reload part on. See how long this reload is taking? You will expend these 150 bullets really fast. And look how long this thing reloads. Imagine it without the 6% increase. But essentially, this suit is just like it plays at all ranges. Its beam rifle allows for stuns. Its melee is also pretty powerful. Allows you to go in close. The beam spot gun is really good at, you know, just chip damage. It stuns in 3-4 shots. It's got Vulcans. I don't have them hotbarred, but they come after the Saber. So if you want to switch into the Saber, switch to the Saber. You click your swap weapons button once, it brings you to Vulcans. So yeah, 12,000 health with no resistances is that's a tough one. So, also why I like the minigun is, so we're at 140 bullets. We'll stop firing once this prototype gun gets stunned. About 24 shots. And these shots go out really quickly. And they do 113 damage per shot. So, to that mass production gun cannon, I was doing 113 per shot. Right? And this is just some quick math, right? So 113 times 150. So we're basically in the, that's a lot of damage. That's like, this thing can output, if it hits every shot, alright, will output close to 100,000 damage. That's a lot of damage. That's just some rough, quick head math. And I know it's not, numbers aren't accurate whatsoever, but the thing is, essentially, because it's 100 times 100, you're adding 2 decimal places over to the right, aka you're adding 2 0 digits. That's essentially how it works. So quickly, 150 times 100. No, it's not 100,000. My bad. One too many zeros. It's 15,000. Most suits at this level have about 15,000 health, which means, and since this doesn't knock down, full minigun is just gonna kill shit. And really, it's hilarious. Man, you can't get staggered out of it, but just imagine though, if they're not paying attention enough, and you can just swap all your ranged weapons, and once they start getting uncomfortably close, you just boost away with your space topography and your high booster and your relatively high speed and boosters for what this suit can do. Charge up your beam rifles, stun, going from the melee, boost out, they're knocked down or like flying away, melee them again. Go back around your freaking miniguns back up and start gatting them as they charge at you. Stun them, back up, stun them again, back up, stun them again, back up, which is hilarious. So base value is it does 113 damage without Hades to that gun cannon. Let's launch Hades. And we'll check our damage now. So 113, remember, per shot with the Gatling gun onto that gun cannon. We're up to 133. 135. 133, as you can see. Damage has gone up exponentially. Damage from the beam rifle goes up. You're basically, all your damage is increased. You will start hitting like a truck. Time on it's 100. is a minute 30 seconds. Your speed has been drastically increased. Your damage has been increased. But yes, you can see on my health bar, my defenses have been decreased. That's a really sad freaking face right there. I'm not gonna lie. Stuff hurts. But thing is, basically in Hades, if you can dodge any attacks and you're out playing somebody in Hades, you'll kill somebody before you die. That's basically what it's for. I wouldn't recommend just popping Hades right away, because if you just like, you have to basically pop Hades when you're almost when you're about half health to really optimize it. It's less intuitive than the Free Kai. It's literally just freaking you're popping it to ensure you kill somebody before you die, but you will die faster. The same concept for the Pale Rider on the ground, except the ground is less favored for a bunch of suits, like that kind of playstyle, due to 400 and 450 having stuff like Pays and Dodge, the Gelgoog Speedy 2, Blue Destiny units 2 and 3. It's just the small health pool on the ground with the disadvantage Hades can give to yourself is very not fun. But yeah, this has been the Pale Rider Space type. I love using this suit. It's a little fun suit to use. If you like kind of just like, if you like having fun with general types, I suggest picking this up. If you're looking for a suit that's more competitively bound, like competitively main, this might not be the suit for that, but I think you can make it work. But yeah, this is the Pale Rider Space type. If you have any suits you want to see in the future, or if there's anything I missed in this video, make sure to leave a comment below. If you liked the video, make sure to like. But this has been Direct Pyro, aka Granny Warrior, signing off.